Wait. I mean, we haven't figured out how he became a paladin.
Oh, you're right. Yo, what is up, everyone? My name is Emilio. This is Let's Roll Characters, the show where my friend Christian and I roll characters for D&D 5th edition. Ones that we dream up or that come from you, our fellow nerds. All right, Christian, let's get right to it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's roll characters.
Boom, 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 boom. Characters, gonna roll characters.
So we're going to go ahead and start with rolling for ancestry, culture, class, background, and gender. A D10 for ancestry, Emilio.
It's a 2.
A dwarf ancestry. Culture.
8.
A dwarf raised among tieflings. D12 for class.
7.
Then we are working with a paladin. And what do we got for background with that D20?
17.
A spy or criminal. What is their gender? D4.
Their gender is a 1.
Okay, it's a guy.
Yeah, so I'm sort of imagining this paladin who's hit hard times and has gone into a life of spying and is kind of living in the underbelly of society.
Maybe came from a bad background, tried to redeem themselves, and then fell back into a life of crime.
A guy who goes undercover and goes too deep and starts to actually live that life.
I really like that. I also, one thing I'll just put out there that was my first thought was actually kind of a redemption arc where somebody starts a life of crime and then turns to some sort of deity.
Let's figure out what this character is good at and roll some ability scores. Christian and I have a little competition going here.
Pew, pew, pew!
We alternate our scores every session, and whoever rolls the highest takes the point for that week. And Christian, you 2-ton gelatinous cube, you are going down.
This is my time. This is my time to come back, to get us back to even Stevens. Gelatinous cube or no?
This will not be your redemption arc, Christian. I am rolling 4d6 and dropping the lowest.
Okay.
It's an 11.
Oh, an ignoble start. Here is our dexterity score. And that is a 12.
Constitution, the least used stat in the game.
Yeah.
11.
Okay. Intelligence. He's 10 smart. Jeez, we're exactly tied up right now.
Neck and neck. Come on, wisdom. 8.
Oh no! Oh goodness gracious! I'm hoping this guy's kind of a charm bag. Let's see. Oh, and he surely is. That is a 17.
Well, okay, I'm not happy that I lost.
Well, I'm happy that you lost.
However, so huge to pull out a charisma roll for this spy character at the last second, because I don't know what we were going to do with this guy otherwise.
We now should dig in a little bit into the class-based proficiencies, and what we already get for the background is proficiencies in deception and stealth. For Paladin, we get to choose from a number of proficiencies here. So we get athletics, insight, intimidation, medicine, persuasion, and religion. And I think, we're going to have to go with persuasion for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, and then I guess intimidation? I think I really feel like maxing out wherever we can on charisma-based stuff.
Yeah, let's do intimidation.
I love it. And yeah, with the tiefling cultural background, he gets a +2 bonus on charisma and +1 on intelligence. And so he's going to be a charisma powerhouse.
19 charisma for a level 1 player is completely bonkers.
Let's really kind of pin down this background story here.
I'm imagining, and maybe I don't know much about tiefling culture, but I'm imagining a somewhat seedy port city. Lots of merchants. Maybe they grew up on the streets, learning to kind of gather information, to pick pockets. They're pretty charismatic, so they learn to kind of talk their way out of or into trouble.
There's a first question that I want to answer, which is how did this guy of dwarf ancestry find himself among tieflings? Maybe he had a hardscrabble life being an outsider in this culture, and he sort of turned to kind of that seedy underbelly that you're talking about.
Maybe he has one parent or both parents, but they came to the city as merchants, right? This is a port city. There's a lot of trade here. These dwarves came here as merchants.
Yes.
maybe they get scammed and they lose everything and they end up living on the streets. And so he kind of grows up in the streets trying to survive.
Merchants are an adaptable people. You know, one business is just as good as any other type of business. And his parents could have fallen on hard luck as merchants in this port city and then established themselves as some sort of crime family. And maybe actually being an outsider here gave them a sort of special cachet of some kind because they can create a myth about what it is to be a dwarf and have people fear that or be intimidated by it or something like that.
Yes.
There's opportunity here to run a certain segment of business, and we're going to teach our son the family business as well.
Yeah. It totally fits with the intimidation, the deception piece. Maybe he's collecting, money from businesses that owe the family,
Yes, protection money.
Yeah. He's
a bit of a thug.
He's a goon.
He's not intelligent, right? He's not wise.
Mm-hmm. He's got a winning smile and a hard fist. And
yes. I'd rather that he converts to being a good person. And I'd like to link that in. I'd like to link that in some way to an aspect of the tiefling culture. Like maybe he learns about a particular tiefling god or something like that, and is like moved to dedicate himself after some sort of turn of events. I don't know.
What if they like fall in love with a tiefling cleric?
Oh.
They're making the rounds. They're doing their dirty work. Maybe dad tells this kid to go and get some of that church money, and then just can't go through with it. And then little by little, as they start to get to know each other, he starts to like convert to this path. And then he has to actually hear the call of this god at some point.
Okay.
I think that's like an inherent Paladin thing, that they hear a whisper or something.
Well, I think that the perfect scenario is that he's been told to collect protection money from the temple where this cleric practices, and he's been like hiding the fact that he hasn't been doing it, maybe using his own money to pretend like, he's been collecting the money, and then his family finds out that he's been doing this, and they go to rough up the cleric to teach him a lesson, and he hears the call that he has to go and protect this cleric, and that is how he makes his oath.
I have goosebumps right now. All right, let's look a little deeper into this character and figure out some of their role-playing aspects. We're going to start with the personality traits and ideal.
Yeah, so we actually had a number of pretty good options here for the personality traits. First is, I am always calm no matter what the situation. I never raise my voice or let my emotions control me. And so the big thing here is that as this kind of enforcer or blackmailer, this kind of, criminal guy who would go down and who would go and shake down a lot of, generally good people, he had to keep a lid on his emotions. And so he's really trained that into his character. He's very controlled in what he does. Then the second personality trait we're going with is, I don't pay attention to the risks in a situation, never tell me the odds. And so this fits really well with his character, given that when he sort of had to act in order to help this cleric with whom he was in love, he just acted. It wasn't a matter of thinking. He went, and he also got the call, and that was probably why that god chose him in the first place, because he just committed once he knew what he was going to do. And then the ideal is, we went with people. I'm loyal to my friends, not to any ideals, and everyone else can take a trip down the sticks for all I care. He was moved by this relationship in order to make this huge change in his life.
Yeah, loyalty is probably something that was valued in his family also for other reasons, but that attribute, manifested itself in a different way for this in this story that we're telling.
So what are we thinking for bond and flaw?
We didn't have a hard time with the bond and flaw. We had a couple that really fit well. We've added another element to this story now as a result. So for the bond, we've chosen someone I love died because of a mistake I made that will never happen again. And that person who died, Christian, is?
It's the cleric. He was too late to save him.
And for their flaw, We chose, if there's a plan, I'll forget it. If I don't forget it, I'll ignore it. Not a planner, not worried about that. He acts on instinct. Don't tell him the odds and don't tell him the plan.
Okay, it's name time. What are we thinking here?
Dwarf name? You like dwarf name?
It's probably going to be a dwarf name. They're so literal.
And it's probably got to be a tough sounding, like hammer fist or something.
Well, and also something, though, that does reflect maybe some aspect of his charm or charisma.
Like feather touch.
Glitter grimace.
The clan of the heavy hand.
Like of the closed doors.
What if it was more like the red beards?
The braided beards or
Yeah.
Braided
something
beards?
like that. Yeah, something like that.
Okay. First name. And I think it should probably be like a street name. Shy Gus, Stabby Jackson.
Like a southern city, like Tallahassee.
The thing I keep on thinking is the glint in somebody's teeth, when they give a really persuasive smile or something like that.
Glint Braidbeard.
Glint Braidbeard.
I really like
Glint
that.
Glint Braidbeard. Let's do it.
Hell yeah. Glint Braidbeard is about to come for your money.
Glint Braidbeard. Oh. Coming for your money. Coming for your money.
That was a lot of fun. I think we have something here. Tell us about Glint Braidbeard.
Okay, so Glint Braidbeard is of dwarven ancestry, and his family was a family of merchants who was traveling to a port city that is culturally tiefling, and they lost their cargo on the way, and they had to find some way to scrap a living together in this foreign city. And so his family, this happened when he was a child, decided that they were going to fill a particular niche in this city of criminal activity. And so Glint grows up sort of going door to door, shaking down shop owners, being pretty harsh to generally good people. And he's sent to go and shake down this temple where he meets this beautiful cleric with whom he falls in love. And slowly but surely over time, now he doesn't betray any of his emotions here, he is starting to kind of buy into what this cleric is talking about, and he's actually refusing to collect protection money from him. And so one day, his family finds out about this, and they decide that they're going to go make an example out of this cleric. And so Glint tries to get there as quick as possible, as soon as he knows, but he is too late. And this person who was the first person who he ever felt these kinds of romantic feelings for tragically died. And in that moment, he hears a call from the god of this cleric, and he decides that he is going to follow the path the best way that he knows how, with his strength and his charisma as a paladin.
Christian.
Yes.
Do we have our character?
We sure do, and if you would like to bring Glint Braidbeard into your campaigns, you can go ahead and click the link to the PDF below.
And as always, if you enjoy Let's Roll Characters, please like and subscribe, and definitely leave a comment on the type of character that you would like us to see bring to life in a future episode.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
All right, now go play some D&D.
Boom, 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 boom. Character, gonna roll character.
Let me do that again.
That's a shame because I had a lot of good physical
doing your shoulder
movement.
things. Yeah,
Yeah, I was
keep it
doing
going.
shoulder stuff. I was boy. All right, I'm gonna have to recreate all that. Woo! Bow, 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 bow.